In this video, we asked bankruptcy attorneys what are their fees they charge in Chapter 7. As a general rule, we've seen Chapter 7 bankruptcies go up dramatically because of two reasons. One, bifurcation that has come strong over the past number of years, and two, because of inflationary measures. Watch just to see where you stack up with your competition.
Base fee's $800, and I go according to income and poverty. I charge a range. I recently quoted somebody a fee for $3,500. I've charged as little as $1,000. Usually somebody that's on very fixed income or, in a real dire straits, I'll make a real strong reduction for them. I usually target at about $2,000 and go from there.
In Michigan, it's typically somewhere around $1,500 with payment plans. They're lower income clients. A base Chapter 7 would be for an individual about $1,900, but that includes a $400 filing fee. So really you're looking at $1,500, plus if they're married, maybe $1,700. And then it goes up if they're self-employed or they have their own business, etc.
My typical charge for a Chapter 7 is between $1,500 and $2,000, just depending upon the complexity and factors in the case.
It really depends on the complexity of the case, whether we're able to do a zero down case or not, but generally between $1,500 and $2,500.
I will charge a range. The range can go as low as $1,500. That's for a very simple case. And basically, if I fall in love with my client and they're working class and they've been dealt a bad hand, my standard cases run between $3,000 to $3,500 up to $4,500 on average, plus the filing fees.
So my fees for Chapter 7 vary depending on the complexity of the case. I would say attorney's fees start at $1,600 for a very simple case, and then they get bigger depending on the complexity.
$1,800 plus $80 general excise tax, $338. This is my floor. So basically my floor, and that's about the average, right? And then I always kick in the tax, which is $80, and then the court filing fee. So that comes out to $2,218.
In Colorado, most of my cases are at $1,800 for Chapter 7. So I'm just underneath the $2,000 mark. I think that's attractive to the customers, but I'm also doing payment plans. And there's a way that I do it. It's kind of unique. I'm bifurcating.
We charge $1,800 for an individual Chapter 7 and $2,000 for a joint Chapter 7. We charge a little bit more because usually with two people, there's additional bank statements, tax returns, list of assets. So just a little bit more work for a joint case.
Well, it's a range. I mean, the range could be anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500 plus, depending on the complexity of the case, depending on if the person is working, depending if the person's on Social Security, and any other complicating or situations. It will change the nature of the pricing.
Fees that I'm charging in Utah, $1,900.
It's really case by case depending on the facts, but on average, it's probably around $1,900 to $2,500, just based on the difficulty of the case.
We have a sliding scale on the 7s. A lot of them are around 2,000. Sometimes they go a little bit more, a little bit less. We basically do that for a reason. I only want to charge clients based on what we have to do, rather than one same fee for everybody.
We charge over $2,000 for our Chapter 7s because you need to charge that much in order to have a good firm that can communicate with the clients, provide good service to the clients, and also hire good employees.
In California, our average fee is about $2,000 to $2,500. For my Chapter 7s, I charge a little more than the average of bankruptcy attorney. I usually charge somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000. And it's because I feel I do a lot of work before. I've done so many Chapter 7s and I've seen so many horror stories. And so I sit and I really look through the bank statements. I go through any issues that could happen in the bankruptcy, and I make sure that when we're going into this Chapter 7 bankruptcy, there's not going to be any issues. And if there is an issue, my client is 100% knowledgeable about it.
It's a rolling scale based on need. On the low end, $2,000 plus the filing costs and the credit report, up to, depending upon the complexity, as high as $4,500 plus costs.
Depends on the Chapter 7. It can be anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000.
depending on the business relationships.
We charge a flat fee of $2,500, and that includes the $338 filing fee. That just seems to be about the market rate in our area.
My Chapter 7s can be as low as $22.99 and as high as $99.99 for a non-business. Depends on a lot of things, including if I'm doing $100,000 worth of asset planning, if I'm having to work to qualify a person to do a 7 instead of a 13. I have a lot of attorneys that refer people to me because they can't figure out how to qualify them for 7. And we look at it either 13, can we lower the 13 payment? Or better yet, can we do some means test planning and not have to file a 13 at all? And I fight for that. The irony of all that is the flat rate for a 13 in the Eastern District is $12,000. When I am accomplishing this, the fee typically is going to be $3,000 to $5,000. So it costs me money to actually accomplish this, but that's okay.
Chapter 7s, I charge $2,500. It's the going rate in that city. Plus they pay the costs, the filing fee, plus some administrative costs like credit report.
For a Chapter 7, I am currently charging $2,500 inclusive of filing fees and costs.
The range could be generally anywhere between my bottom of $2,600 and maybe up to $7,500 in some cases, probably more for certain business cases.
We charge $2,750 inclusive of court fees and classes and everything because I hate to nickel and dime people. It covers our time, it covers our effort, and try to get it to a place where it's not too overburdensome for our clientele.
Well, we do a bifurcated fee. We do a flat rate for the preparation of everything up front at $800, and then a flat rate for the services provided after filing. That's $2,000. And after filing, you can break that payment up into 10 payments. We do it that way because we find it to be more helpful for people who need immediate relief.
I charge $2,830. I may be considering a price increase. I believe that I'm the best consumer bankruptcy attorney in Eastern Washington, and I believe my services merit that price.
So we have a tiered pricing structure. We charge $3,000 for a consumer debt Chapter 7. And if you are paying it within the first 14 days of signing up, then we actually take off $500 from the price. We charge $2,500 in that situation. If you take longer than 45 days to pay the fee, then we actually charge an additional $500 administrative charge. So in that situation, we're charging $3,500.
Average cost of a Chapter 7 is $3,000. It'll go up to $10,000. And that's kind of the average going rate, I believe. So I try to, the market mostly dictates that.